Aquí estoy. Te estoy esperando para servirte.
¿Qué mensaje me...
Como Dios estuvo con tu papá, así va a estar con vos aquí en este ministerio. Hay un nuevo equipo. Aquí está Chico, mira.
Dios te bendiga, hermano. Iván, Dios usó a tu padre y quiero profetizarte que Dios te va a usar más a vos, con más fuerza, con más unción, con más poder, con más autoridad.
Hello friend, my name is Annis Schnedler. Have you ever thought of yourself as an investor? Perhaps not, but every day, all of us invest in something, either perishable items like food to keep our body functioning, or depreciable items like that automobile in our parking lot, or items we hope will appreciate in value, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. The beauty of this last category is the principle called leverage. Eventually, what you earn starts earning for you. Well, what if I could show you an investment with leverage that is absolutely guaranteed? Well, in fact, Jesus talked about one. He said, "Store your treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, and thieves cannot break in and steal." When you invest into the lives of people, you are seeking God first. And as well, you are storing your treasures in heaven, where Jesus said they're guaranteed. Now, when you invest into the lives of people who invest in people who multiply other people, you're also taking advantage of this beautiful principle called leverage. Thank you for taking the next few minutes to listen to this video so you can see what has functioned for many years and what continues to work. At the end, you can prayerfully consider if this is an opportunity that you would like to be a part of. Pan American Ministries grew out of a commission to my parents Larry and Annis to work among the Latin American people way back in the 1960s. Today, as a result, there are over 40 churches in Nicaragua, 15 or so in Honduras and Costa Rica. They have also traveled and ministered extensively throughout Central America, Colombia, a large network of churches in Mexico, as well as the United States and Canada. Throughout their books and extensive speaking engagements, and quite honestly, lots of blood, sweat, and tears, they have ministered to the Latin American culture tirelessly for 50 years.
When I went to Nicaragua, I saw missionary work being done the way it's supposed to be done. They don't do what I call hit and run missions. They don't just go down there and get people saved and leave. They go down and they make disciples, and they spend not just weeks or months, they spend years and decades.
We go to various places with various missionaries, and nothing has impressed me as much as Pan American Ministries. Nothing has.
The first word that comes to my mind is integrity, because when I met Larry and Annis, I was just amazed at his integrity of how he really considered his ministry, and he really trusted God for his provision. I mean, it made you want to help him. It made you want to be a part.
They had very little to work with, and they made mountains out of just very, very little. It was just so impressive to see all the work that they did with so little to work with.
Training the pastors, training the leaders of the church, helping them in every way that they can, from supplying physical needs to teaching and training leaders of their churches. They do everything they can to make the churches succeed. They build relationships that last, and they make sure that the gospel is not only taught, but explained, protected, and that those ministries grow.
Have had an opportunity over the last, 17, 18 years to work with Pam, Nicaragua, and Larry and Annis Schnedler and Stephen. And I just want to say it's been an awesome experience. One of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life when it comes to the mission field.
In the Bible, we see Moses preparing Joshua to take over the leadership of Israel. We see Elijah preparing Elisha to continue his prophetic ministry. We see Paul equipping Timothy to pass the torch to him of his apostolic ministry. At a certain stage in life, every leader needs to face a very important issue, and that is Will my ministry end with me, or will it continue in others? I believe if we're wise, we'll prepare for that time. And that's why we're preparing Stephen to take over certain responsibilities of Pan American Ministries, including the oversight of the 40-some churches in Nicaragua. Now, we're not retiring. We will be as busy as ever and very involved. But we do feel God is leading us into a new phase or a new season of ministry, including men's conferences, pastors' conferences, seminars, schools of ministry, and so forth. We're thrilled that Stephen and Leslie are joining us as a vital part of Pan American Ministries. Someone said that our vision should be large enough that it cannot be fulfilled in one generation. And that's why we believe that even though God has done some wonderful things in these 50-some years of ministry, that the best years and the best things of this ministry are still ahead.
As you know, we don't live forever, and my parents have felt the need to start turning over parts of the ministry. After many external confirmations and lots of prayers, it has become evident that God has chosen my wife Leslie and me to step into those shoes and to continue to build on the foundation that my parents have so wisely established. The result? We have accepted the challenge.
I went down for a hands-on trip with Stephen and our missions director from the church. And I hadn't been down there more than about half a day when it became very evident to me that the one that ought to be leading that ministry was Steve. I could see his heart for the people. I could see he's just a whole different person down there. He was just lit up with so much excitement, enthusiasm, joy, and I could see how the men there, the pastors, respected him. I could see how they treated him. I could watch them in conversation, and it just, to me, it was obvious that he was the man to take that job.
There's something about being there from the beginning. He understands the vision, he understands the purpose, and I really believe there's no one qualified like that has carried the Father's dream like he can carry it.
When I talk to the pastors in Nicaragua, they want Stephen. They're connected to Stephen. He speaks the language, not just Spanish, but he speaks their heart. He's lived with them. They're friends, they're brothers, they're connected. And I believe that Stephen, because of the connection with the pastors, with their families, with the churches, it's a natural fit with his skill, his talents, his training through Larry, and the connection with the pastors. Yes, Stephen's the one.
I've known Stephen for over 25 years now, and I've seen Stephen in a lot of different situations. We've played music together on worship teams and ministered to a lot of people over the years together. And Stephen has always been a great worshiper, very solid and stable spiritually, and a great leader and a great example to everyone around.
I know that Steve and Leslie have always had a heart for people in Latin America, and they're ministering Hispanic church here in San Antonio as well, working full-time jobs and doing these other things to further that calling. It's not as if a person not knowing what it takes to do that type of work in that area in Latin America is coming in and having to do some on-the-job training. There's none of that. There's a baton, that's being passed, a continuum of a vision that's progressing from Steve's parents now to Steve and Leslie.
Steve has been trained all of his life to have a passion for what he's doing right now. And with the tenacity that he has in his personality, any challenges that come up in the ministry, he's going to tackle them with enthusiasm. It's not going to discourage him. He just has the right mindset, the right heart, and the right passion to see this ministry succeed.
Stephen has a real heart and passion for Latin America. I've seen it over the past 2 decades that I've been with him. He loves to sing in Spanish and to minister in Spanish, and his heart for the Latin American people is something more than just a liking. It's something deep inside of him.
We have decided to take a leap of faith and step into the purpose of God for our lives. At the end of the year, or very shortly thereafter, I'm going to be resigning my secular employment and trusting God to provide the resources that we need to continue this great work. Now, although we will minister in other countries, our primary focus, at least for the first few years, will be in Nicaragua.
Siempre mi opinión fue de que la persona clave era su hijo Steve. ¿Y por qué te digo esto? Porque Steve tiene dos ADNs. El ADN biológico de su padre y el ADN espiritual de su padre. Entonces, yo creo que este traslado es el traslado que está confirmado primeramente por el Señor Jesucristo, que es la voluntad perfecta de Dios, que sea Steve el hombre que agarre la antorcha, que le dé continuidad al ministerio de sus padres.
En el área ministerial tiene un buen liderazgo. Me gusta su enseñanza, me gusta cómo enseña. Para mí es un excelente maestro, también como su papá.
Como su papá,
Sí.
Larry Schnedler.
Sí.
Tiene las pisadas de su papá, Larry Schnedler.
Sí, parece que es un legado bueno lo que está dejando el hermano Larry con Stick, un buen legado.
Esteban para nosotros es una persona muy especial, lo decíamos anteriormente. Él, hace años venimos platicando con él acerca de suceder al hermano Larry, y ahora que en Honduras pues ha nacido una nueva obra y en Costa Rica están haciendo otra obra, para mí sería una persona especial Esteban, porque está lleno de energía, es un hombre decidido, con una visión muy amplia para la obra de Dios, y sería excelente.
Es un joven que tiene visión. Es una de las cosas que realmente se mira en él. Tiene deseo, tiene amor, ya, por este país. Es un hombre bien capacitado. Es un hombre que tiene sabiduría de Dios. Es un hombre que ama a los pastores, que realmente tiene esa gran humildad para con nosotros los pastores. Y yo creo que realmente Dios tiene algo realmente que ha puesto en él, que realmente a su tiempo Dios lo va a manifestar en su persona. Sería algo bueno realmente que él estuviera aquí en Nicaragua como misionero, por su inteligencia, por su disposición. Y yo creo que realmente, lo que yo creo es realmente porque Dios lo ha preparado para estar en este lugar, en nuestro país.
Yo me siento bien con el hermano Stick, ¿verdad? Sí, me siento muy bien, ¿verdad? Porque como que siento que es la misma cobertura, igual la misma cobertura. Entonces, ¿verdad? Yo siento, hermano, que es una bendición. El hermano, ¿verdad? Ha estado dando los seminarios, ¿verdad? El hermano Stick, ¿verdad? Y aprendí bastante de ese seminario que nos estuvo dando la vez pasada nuestro hermano. Y sería una bendición, hermano, tenerlo acá, ¿verdad? En la asociación.
Among our goals are the following. Number one, to strengthen and encourage current pastors. We want to be with them to celebrate their victories, as well as be with them through their trials to provide ongoing counseling and encouragement. Number two, we want to provide them with ongoing training. Now, there are a few pastors with some strong churches, but we want to get into the trenches with all of them to help them become strong and vibrant churches. One of the areas, for example, is in the area of vision. We want to help them think big and not accept mediocrity in their lives, their ministry, their services, their service preparation. Number three, we want to help provide ongoing resources and assistance to help them in the purchase of church properties, church buildings. Number four, we want to help coordinate ministerial activities such as ongoing schools of ministry. These are typically 3 or 4 day events that happen maybe 3 times a year, where pastors from all over the country come in and receive training for their lives, their ministry, their families, their leadership. Typically, as well, we bring in other ministers from outside the country to provide this training. So this can be an enriching time of learning and fellowship with the other pastors as well. And number five, ultimately, we want to build a full-fledged Bible school. Now this, we believe, is the key to maximum multiplication leverage, if you will.
If a Bible school can be raised up there with the number of churches and number of pastors that are already a part of the team, it would provide a whole nother group of young men and young women to pioneer into untouched regions and untouched territories.
You have probably heard that the harvest is ripe. That could never be more true than now. We must make our lives count. Everything for God involves commitment and sacrifice. Would you prayerfully consider being a member with us in this effort? Now, I know that I may be asking you to sacrifice, and I don't take that lightly. There are many worthwhile ministries out there offering you something tangible in return for your support. A DVD, a CD, a book, and that is wonderful. I'm not offering you something personally in return. And in fact, unless you visit Nicaragua, and that would be wonderful if you did, you may never see the results firsthand. What I am offering you is an opportunity to sow good seed into good ground so that together we can fulfill the Great Commission. You see, it takes both goers and senders. This is an opportunity to build on a foundation that has been established over the last 50 years. But unless the senders send the goers cannot go. It takes a team effort.
The question I have to ask myself is, why would I invest in Pan American Ministries? Why would I look into that when there's so many other incredible, worthy causes? And the reason that I've come to this conclusion is for the following reasons. One, it's an established nonprofit organization. It's been around for 50 years, helping people. It's been in their lives. It's not just a fly-by-night. It's not like, oh, well, here's just a great idea. We're going to go and help people. No, they've actually been around for some time. Then you look at the success rate and how it's grown. It's grown to over 40 churches, helping people, helping not feed them just spiritually, but physically, and help raising up leaders. And the thing that really draws me the most is the leadership that's been raised up through this program. That to me is worthy, because what we want to be able to do is not just touch today, the present, but we want to be able to touch the future for all eternity.
I want to have some measure of assurance and some comfort that the money that I'm putting forward isn't going to be going for things that I would believe that are not essential to the mission of that or the spirit for which I'm giving. I have high confidence that every dollar that I invest in Stephen Leslie's mission is going to find its way in the end of it all toward growing fundamentally changing people's lives.
If you study Pan American Ministries, if you spend any time with them at all, I believe that you'll catch the vision that they have for training people and for discipling people. I think so that will affect you, it will affect the people that they minister to. It's just going to affect eternity in so many ways we probably won't really know until we get to heaven.
The commission is for all of us to go out and preach the gospel. And there's abilities. All of us have different abilities and different resources. And I think that everybody's opportunity is for prayer. And then to, in addition, supplement with a partnership opportunity and send those, if you can't go yourself, to fund those that can go.
We look at a ministry at the kind of fruit that it's bearing, number one, and the ratio of dollars that actually get to the ministry versus dollars that are used administratively. And I've been close enough to the Schnedlers to know that they are pouring their own life, their time, their energy, and their own personal finances into everything that they do. I mean, there's not a dollar wasted. There's not a penny wasted in the ministry. So I know if you give to Pan American Ministries, whether it was Larry and Annis or now under Stephen and Leslie, I know they take it very personally, and they're not here to get, they are here to give.
I saw the way Larry and the ministry was working, and that gave me an encouragement to start supporting this ministry personally myself.
I can't imagine a mission field that's richer. I mean, you want to sow into good soil, right? And that's what's happening in Pan American Ministries. It's the very thing that I think that separates it from so many places, is that that everything you sow into that ministry is going to go there. You know, it's a powerful time.
They're the most stable people and solid, rock solid people, rooted and grounded in the Word. They're dependable. You see the fruit in their ministry. You see the fruit in the reports coming back from the field. You see the reports the fruit when you talk with them. It's very evident that these are people who are living and serving our Lord and Savior Jesus.
We got to make observation of the level of integrity that this ministry operated under. Every dollar literally is being stretched beyond its abilities and limits. There has never been a ministry that I believe is as effective as the work that Larry and Annis Schnedler and Stephen Schnedler are doing in Nicaragua. I encourage anybody, please sow your financial support. Consider praying faithfully for this ministry. It is awesome.
If after prayerful consideration you decide to team up with us, partner up with us, we will do everything possible to keep you up to date with all events and challenges. We are not asking you to do this for us. We are asking you to prayerfully consider becoming a team member with us, so together we can reap the harvest which is white. So together we can fulfill the Great Commission.
I think an investment in Pan American Ministries would have a great eternal value because of the souls that are won every day, and the bang for the buck, with the amount of money that Pam brings in and the number of souls that they reach. It's just amazing what they're able to do.
Here in the United States and through the world, everybody is very comfortable with having their financial investment portfolio growing. And the things that you and I discussed is this is an opportunity for your kingdom investment, for your kingdom portfolio to be growing. We're not going to be able to know what of the money and the resources we send, the seeds that are going to be planted, the lives that are going to be changed, the souls that are going to have the opportunity to go from eternal damnation to eternal redemption.
For more information, you can find us on Facebook. Just search Pan American Ministries. Or to get started partnering with us right away, you can go to panamericanministries.org. There is a PayPal link. PayPal uses subscriptions for this function. Or you may simply set up your monthly donations through your personal banking. Thank you so much for prayerfully considering this partnership opportunity with us. Whether or not you decide to join us, we appreciate the time you took to watch this video. When you're through with it, would you be so kind as to pass it on to someone else? Thanks again, and we look forward to hearing from you. God bless.
Stick tiene el corazón del hermano Larry. Lo que le dijo Eliseo a Elías, una doble porción más. Hay algo más, una juventud grande que tiene Stick, que tiene que desarrollarlo porque Nicaragua lo necesita grandemente.